warning before you listen. This epic is not for children, nor for the faint of heart. We retell the ancient Greek myths as they were born, unfiltered, unsoftened. Scenes of violence, curses, betrayals, and a hunger for power that shows no mercy. Given the many conflicting versions of the Titan War, the events have been rebuilt to complete the missing pieces. Here, we tell the myth as it was meant to be told. Sources and references are listed in the episode description. Chapter 52. From the War of the Titans. Clash of weapons and the fall of time. The last ash. The collapse of the earth between. Fist and wall. When time grinds hope into dust, the earth breaks from within. The sound of aging soil, stones sighing, a rumble that belongs not to the mountains but to memory. The land was still writhing from the wounds of war, but something crept between its cracks, not a spear, not an earthquake, but time itself, shattered. And spilling from the mouth of the beast called Cronus, Demeter stood, pressing her spear into soil that once birthed hope. She cried, "Fear not, army of the earth. We once lived inside its belly, and it did not suffocate us. We will not be buried again." But the land did not respond. She drove her spear deeper, and a grey flower bloomed. But it wasn't a flower, it was a memory of a season never planted, never harvested, lost between beginning and end. Briareus, one of the 100-handed ones, roared, "We will not return to Tartarus. Kill me if you must, but don't send me back." Then they charged, Briareus, Cottus, Gyges, like 100 bolts of stone and fire. Each fist carried a cliff, each step collapsed an era, but what they didn't know was that time itself had turned against them. Not strength stopped them, not magic, but the moment itself broke. Every one of their 100 hands moved through different timelines. One struck the past, one waited for the future. Another clung to the present like it was drowning. Their fists swung, but not in unison. One ahead of the moment, one behind, one looping endlessly, as if time had shattered inside their flesh. They were no longer 100 synchronized strikes, but 100 failures, out of sync. And then, from the gray heavens above, came the voice, deeper than mountains, heavier than dread. Cronus. He spoke. "Atlas, stop defending. Strike the children of the traitor. I stand with you now. I am time. And I will make every fall repeat until it becomes destiny." Atlas, silent for too long, lifted his arms toward the sky, not to hold back death, but to create it. He raised the mountains, not one, 3, and spun them over his head like a vortex of the end. Then bellowed, "I bore the heavens once. Now I shall bring them down upon you." He hurled them, the plains cracked, smaller peaks ignited, the earth caught fire, but the 100-handed stood tall. Briareus leapt. Cottus spread his arms like a flaming forest. Gyges slammed 30 fists against the incoming sky. The blast exploded. They held, but staggered. Their hands didn't bleed. They glowed. They bled. Time. Atlas didn't pause. He struck again, raised the sky and smashed it into the land. Don't shield yourselves with the sky. It never wanted you. It won't save you now. This time, 30 hands shattered, but the giants stood, bleeding, but still roaring. We will not return to Tartarus. The third assault came only through Atlas's eyes. He glared, and the mountains bowed. The fourth was silence. He walked forward, wordless, and his steps caused earthquakes that crushed everything in their path. Demeter screamed, "The earth does not cry out, but she is dying." Then came the fifth blow, the one no one expected. Cronus slipped into their rhythm, into their timing, into their very strikes. Each fist missed its moment. One hit the future, one punched the past, one fell for no reason at all, as if time itself was ground to dust between their bones. Atlas roared, "Only now are my hands finally free of mercy." And he lunged. One strike, but it wasn't like before. It wasn't a blow. It was a mountain collapsing onto a body whose time had ended. Gyges, the one who haunted legends, took the full force. His scream never reached the air. First fell his shadow, then his body, then his forgotten name, erased from the pages of the beginning. Briareus and Cottus screamed, but their voices dripped with fear. One of them looked at Atlas, then at the sky, then at nothing, searching for a salvation he didn't believe in. Demeter wept, not because a giant had fallen, but because the earth finally understood. When a wall attacks, it leaves behind nothing but dust that smells like the end. This chapter of the epic has come to an end, but remember, what you've just heard is not a record of facts, but the echo of a myth, a story born from the imagination of the ancients, etched into the long memory of humankind. If this tale stirred something in you, if it opened a door to reflection or wonder, don't forget to support the channel and share the journey with those you love. And in the comments, tell us which moment in this chapter struck you the most and why. We'll meet again in the next chapter of this audio odyssey through time. Until then, farewell.